passive drive. Applications of solar geometry. This presentation is focused on tracking, because tracking is one of the important part of solar thermal collection. The collection may be non-focusing or focusing type. Even non-focusing also, that is flat wave collector, it needs some intermittent change of the tilt angle so that we can receive maximum amount of solar radiation from the sun, so that we can expect the higher thermal efficiency, the energy conversion efficiency from the thermal system. So here, focusing type is mandatory, the tracking is mandatory depending upon the type of focusing. It may be linear focus concentrating collector, or it may be point focus concentrating collector. The nature of the tracking required. The nature of the tracking is, it may be intermittent type of tracking, or it may be the continuous tracking. Even continuous also, again, it may be single axis tracking and dual axis tracking, etc. and so on. There are many variety of solar tracking systems are available, including the active tracking methods and natural drive, that's passive drive methods. Active drive methods means it needs the electricity that means to run the motors, it needs the electricity to drive the entire collector. Whereas in the passive, that means in this case, what I am going to discuss today is passive nature, where we are not using any electricity without using that electricity, because electricity is a hybrid energy, without using any battery, motor and electronic circuits, positive electronic circuits. How to run a solar collector naturally like a sunflower, because the sunflower is a God-made mechanism. From sunrise to sunset, sunflower always focus towards the sun. So based on that motivation, it's possible to drive the collector using this passive drive mechanism. The basic element involved in this mechanism is the engineering mechanics. As in the mechanics, is completely mechanical drive. For example, I will give you an example. There is one picture I am not showing. I don't have that picture now. There is one lever. One side father is there, another side is daughter. So father can lift, daughter can lift the father using this mechanical advantage principle. You know very well. So similarly, here also the solar collector is a massive. It may be 10 kg, 100 kg, or more than that. Is it possible to drive the solar collector with a little amount of efforts? So that point has been focused here. The main focus of this study is to drive the collector, a massive collector. I can say this is a massive collector with a little amount of effort, and that too without supplying electricity. That's why I am saying this is a power-free tracking system. Before going to this tracking, explaining the tracking system, first I am going to deal the first part, the fundamentals in solar energy, starting from solar geometry, that is the sun-earth relations. I am going to explain, so that any engineer interested to work on solar energy, these fundamentals are essential, so that we can easily model any system, thermal related system, starting from flat wave collector to the point focused collectors. So for that, this information of availability of solar radiation is required. And later, how to apply this knowledge, that means apply the solar geometry in practical implementation, such as estimation of solar radiation and development of the power-free tracking system, what I am giving as today's example. There are plenty of applications are there. I am giving these two. One is solar radiation, estimation of the solar radiation. Second is the tracking unit. Why we have to go for estimation of the solar radiation? Already there are plenty of instruments are available. Some central government is also establishing stations like solar assessment stations. The need of this estimation is using mathematics as well as the solar geometry. Some places it may be difficult. Remote places it is difficult to establish the stations, that is the atmospheric stations or solar assessment stations, as well as these instruments. That's why where there is some difficulty to measure the instruments, because from morning sunrise to sunset continuously it is costly, and some places it is difficult to install. So therefore it is required, some places or some situations it is required to estimate the solar radiation, so that if the estimated solar radiation is very close to the measured value, that models can be implemented officially to calculate or to assess the potential of solar radiation with respect to the time. Time means at the given date, time and location. So based on these variable conditions, it's possible to estimate the daily, monthly, annual, those things. So how to develop these models, that is estimated models using this solar geometry, that I am going to explain, because the background of this estimation as well as this mainly development of this power free tracking unit is this presentation is focused on study on solar geometry, that's sun-earth relationship. And after finishing the study, that is understanding on sun-earth geometry, we are going to apply the same knowledge to estimate the solar radiation at various conditions like time change and place change. And later some practical application I am going to explain, that is a practical application of solar geometry to develop the some tracking methods or mechanisms. As I mentioned, there is a boosting, solar energy is boosting every year. I am comparing 3 years here, 2016, 17 and 18. Out of these 3 years, see, just I am focusing only on energy. See the blue color. The blue color 2016, this is the share of various technologies in new power capacity additions in India. 16% share, that's the new technologies, the solar point of view, solar technologies. And 2017 it is 41% share is there, and 2018 the share is increased to 50% solar and out of the other coal, wind and total renewable energy systems. So there is some positive rise in solar energy from year to year, and the second drawing is showing the comparison of various energy sharing at the end of the first quarter of 2020. See the just to focus only on renewable energy share here. Out of this renewable energy share, nearly excluding this hydropower, the majority of the energy is from wind and solar power. So almost same, this is 10% and this is also close to 10%. Solar energy also close to 10%. Therefore, in future, this wind and solar energy, there is a boost is there. According to the predictions, India will get 75% of the electricity from the renewable energy sources of energy in 2050. Out of this 75%, major role is solar energy. 34% would come from solar energy and 32% from the wind energy. So this is the data we received from MNRE. According to the data, so there is a technology development scope of the technology development solar energy. And why we have to go for this study on solar geometry before implementing some of the technologies like that is the tracking methods. What is the link between the solar geometry and the tracking methods? So this solar geometry, it is useful to predict the capacity of the solar systems and the plants. For example, to make a solar power plant, 1 megawatt of the power plant at a particular place, first of all we need to get the information, that is the data required the availability of the solar radiation. If you are know about the availability of the solar radiation, it is easy to predict the capacity of the solar plant at that particular location and the climatic conditions. This solar radiation information we can collect from the past data as well as from the geometry, estimation of the solar geometry. So as per our topic, today's topic, This solar geometry is essential, and there is a great link between the geometry and the tracking options like active tracking and passive tracking system. And green building also, for example, there is a shadow analysis. Shadow analysis is one of the topic actually that we are going to they are going to use in the green building design, because the sun path will change from point to point and place to place. According to the sun path diagram, the green building, that is ventilation and heat losses, can be designed effectively so that the comfort conditions, the passive type of comfort conditions, can be maintained in the building using the solar geometry. And evaluate the nature and potential of the source. The nature and the potential of the source, we can find that is a estimation of solar radiation in the beam radiation as well as the global radiation is possible from this geometry. As I mentioned, there is a relation between the shadow analysis and design of the green buildings. And frame the national and international times. We are following a common time as per our convenient, and similarly to design any solar system, that is a collecting system or any power plant, mostly the calculations are based on the solar time. The solar time is different compared to our watch time or the standard time. So this geometry is giving the relation between these two timings, and at the same time how to design a standard time, that is for a particular nation, what is the standard latitude, and based on that how to design a common time also, it is giving some guidelines. And discover the location. This is one of the interesting application of the solar geometry. Generally solar geometry means there is one problem, as per the given information we can find the location of the sunbeam. For example, the date and time is given. As per the given date and time, is it easy to estimate the location of the solar beam. And in another direction means, for example, one location there is an unknown location. This unknown location, how to trace this unknown location based on the solar geometry? This is in the reverse direction of the problem solving. In the unknown location, we don't know the latitude and longitude, but based on the observation, that is the solar geometry or sun-earth relations, it is easy to identify the latitude and longitude. If you are able to identify the latitude and longitude, it is easy to trace the location, because we have GPS system is there in your smartphone. Based on the GPS system, the location can be shared. Similarly, solar geometry also useful to share the location, to discover the location based on the geometry. I am going to define one parameter here, the incident angle. This incident angle is one of the very important parameter to design any tracking device. It may be intermittent or continuous, or single axis or double axis. The incidence angle is, what is meaning of this incidence angle? The incidence angle is defined as the angle between the sunbeam and normal to the surface, any surface. See the drawing, there is a sunbeam, yellow color is showing the sunbeam, and normal to the surface, inclined surface, is a black color, it is showing. These two, the angle between these two lines we are calling as incidence angle. The main objective of any tracking is to minimize this incidence angle. If the incidence angle is 0, what happens, that is normal to the surface and sunbeam both are matching same line, we can receive maximum amount of solar radiation, so that the conversion efficiency will increase. Now the problem is, or the issue is, how to maintain either minimum incidence angle or 0 incidence angle. That is the question now. How to solve this question, I am going to explain. Okay, to find this incidence angle, what is the information is required? There are five parameters is required, that is declination angle, hour angle, latitude, tilt angle, surface azimuth angle. So there are 5 variables I am showing here. Theta incidence angle is the function of delta, omega, phi, beta and omega. The first 3 variables, that is declination, hour angle and latitude. Declination is dealing the date. Today is October 20. October 20 is a declination angle. We can find the declination because declination angle is changing every day. from minus 23.5 degrees to plus 23.5 degrees due to the tilting nature of this axis. So this angle is defined, the equatorial plane is making an angle between a straight line between the line joint center of the earth and center of the earth. So that line is always making with the angle with the equatorial plane. So this declination angle is defined with reference to the date. So first we have to define on what date we are going to find this incidence angle. Yes, date is defined, that date is giving the declination angle. Next is the time. Omega is the hour angle. This hour angle is not our watch time. So there is a relation between the hour angle and the watch time. So once we are giving the time, let us say at 2:30 p.m. or 4 p.m. or a.m., that angle can be converted into the equivalent this hour angle. It is defined from forenoon to afternoon. So the second point is the time, the date and the time. The third is, that is phi. Phi is the latitude, is a place. We have to define the location. So the first three is the date, time and place. These three we can't change. That is a fixed. The place is fixed and time is not in our control. Date is also not in our control. What is in our control? Last two variables are in our control. What are the last two variables? That is tilt angle, that's beta. The surface, how much surface is angled to the horizontal surface, that is called as tilt angle. And last is the surface azimuth angle, gamma. The surface azimuth angle is also almost same to the solar azimuth angle. There are two types of azimuth angle. That is, this is horizontal. It is horizontal. Generally, we have to see the azimuth angle on horizontal surface because this is a shadow of the sunbeam. The shadow of the sunbeam is falling on the ground. So there is a one reference line is required. That south line is a reference line. With reference to the south, how the sunbeam is making, the shadow of the sunbeam is making to the south line is called as azimuth angle. That is, if the azimuth angle is defined with reference to the solar beam, that is the sun beam, then that is called as solar azimuth angle. If the same azimuth angle is defined with reference to the surface, that means the normal. Now I am showing the normal to the surface. If the normal to the surface is making a shadow on the ground, and the shadow line on the ground is making an angle to the south line, then that angle is called as surface azimuth angle. As we can tilt the surface, that's why surface azimuth angle is in our control, not the solar azimuth angle. Surface azimuth angle we can control, and tilt angle also, that is beta, that is this inclined line is angle to the ground or the horizontal surface, that we are calling as the tilt angle beta. So this beta and surface azimuth angle is in our control. These two can be controlled to make the minimum incidence angle. That is the main working principle of this solar geometry. In this working principle, as per the tracking methods, tracking may be intermittent in nature or it may be the continuous in nature. Some collectors like flat pay collector, it won't demand the continuous tracking system. Maybe seasonal changes or at least some intermittent changes is required. Even some linear concentrating collectors like compound parabolic collectors also demand intermittent tracking devices. So approximately how much angle we have to tilt? First of all, the surface has to be tilted towards the south. Since we are in northern hemisphere, this surface has to tilt towards the south to collect maximum extent of solar radiation. If the location is on southern hemisphere, if the surface wants to see the sun, it has to tilt towards the northern direction. That is the main point we have to remember. That is if the location is on the north pole, the northern hemisphere, they have to tilt south side, vice versa. Okay, next is how much angle they have to tilt. Latitude, as per this solar geometry, you see the trigonometry here, this is the latitude. As per the this location is defined by latitude. Okay, if the angle, the beta is equal to latitude, average approximately the surface is facing towards the sun. But seasonally, The sun position is changing, that's summer time and winter time. So to accommodate the seasonal changes, slightly the delta can be implemented to the phi, that is if the beta is equal, that is at latitude phi plus or minus delta. This plus or minus delta will accommodate the seasonal changes, that is the summer as well as the winter. Because in the winter, the sun, the distance of the sun is away from the observer, whereas in the summer it looks very close to the observer. So to accommodate this type of variations in seasonal, that the beta also has to be changed seasonally, that beta is equal phi plus or minus delta. Now I want to introduce one more point here, the meaning of zenith. What is the meaning of zenith? Zenith also one type of incidence angle. Incidence angle I defined just now, that is the angle between normal to the surface and sunbeam. Okay, since that surface is inclined, that's why we are calling that as incidence angle. If the surface is horizontal, then that incidence angle we may call that as zenith angle. Instead of taking the inclined surface, if we consider the reference surface, horizontal surface is the reference surface. Let us take the horizontal ground. In the horizontal ground, how sun moves, let us say from sunrise to sunset, east to west. So it is making some angle. Let us say early morning it is making an angle of 90 degrees. Again it is making an angle of 90 degrees in the sunset, that is evening time. The angle is very minimum, that's close to 0 at the noon time, because in noon time you can see the sun is exactly falling on your overhead. But whether this zenith is close to 0 or equal to 0, how to say that point? That depends upon the location. If the location, the place is above the 23.5 degrees in the above the equator and plus 23.5 degrees, then they can't get the zero zenith angle. The meaning of zero zenith is the sun rays are falling exactly on the overhead. Exactly on the overhead, man, that more intensity, he can feel more intensity. Yes, here you see this photo, the drawing, the plotted here, 2 times 0 zenith is coming here. Since the place is below 23.5 degrees, let us take some place in South India. In South India, that the angle is latitude is less than 23.5 degrees. If you see this place in Jalandhar, this is 23.5, above 23.5 degrees. That means we are in almost 31 degrees. We can't experience or we can't feel any zero zenith angle, because our zenith angle is always above 0 degrees, because that is latitude, value of the latitude. In this location, I think it is 12 degrees or 13 degrees I plotted. In this location, the 2 times zenith is coming at around on April 25th, 0 zenith is coming. Again, September 7th, 0 zenith is coming. That means they can feel 2 times, that is a 0 zenith angle. That means sunbeam is exactly falling on the overhead. That is 2 days. They can feel the 2 days on the 0 zenith position. Why I am explaining this 0 zenith position is because this is also one of the consideration we have to study on tracking methods, the various tracking methods. And also day length, the sunrise time, sunset time, when we have to start the collection of the solar radiation. That means flat plate collector or concentrating collector, the operator has to start at what instance? With sunrise. Okay, sunrise time is naturally this is the starting of the day length, but according to the intensity, exactly sunrise time you can't feel the solar radiation. Maybe sometime maybe 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, depending upon the season, they can feel that one. That means if it is a concentrating collector, the line or point phase focus concentrating collector, they can follow the day length. That means according to the Sundays, that means sunny days. But if it is a flat plate collector, non-focus, that means sunrise to sunset we can do. So the time, that is exact time, the sunrise time as well as sunset time is required. That can be estimated using this solar geometry. So solar geometry is a combination of 5 variables. The 5 variables we can control so that it is easy to simulate the sunbeam with reference to the surface. The surface may be horizontal surface, or it may be fixed tilt surface, or it may be continuously changing with reference to the tracking mechanism. So how to validate whether whatever we are estimated the solar geometry, that is the angles, whether the data is correct or not. Okay, there are certain methods. The actual position of the sunbeam we can measure in the laboratory or using the shadow mechanism, and the mathematical equations are giving the estimated values. So now in the drawing you see the measured data is showing, the dotted line shows the measured data, and continuous line, the blue color, is showing the estimated results. There is small deviation. Actually this small deviation is not because of the error. This deviation is caused because of the phase change. If you are not able to find exactly the sunrise time, that is actual sunrise time and estimated sunrise time, for example, there is a 1 minute error is there. If 1 minute early or 1 minute late, what happens? This is a phase change takes place that creates the error. That's why while estimating this solar radiation or geometry, we have to see exactly the time. The time is mismatching with the actual time, then this type of error will come, even though there is no any error in the estimation model, mathematical model, but that will result in the error because of this issue, that is a phase change issue, that is a time lapse issue. So this is the one of the application I can show the different orientations can be compared, so that this estimation, that is based on the orientation, there are different orientations are compared here. Those incidence angle also calculated using Sunnet geometry. The first line shows the reference surface, horizontal surface. And next, second onward, this is a fixed tilt surface such as solar air heater or water heating system. Then third onwards, this is a single axis tracking unit, east-west horizontal axis rotation. Next is the north-south horizontal axis rotation, this is single axis system. And fifth is the north-south fixed inclined axis and azimuth angle rotation. And this is the condition beta is equal to phi and gamma is equal to gamma s. And next is north-south fixed inclined axis and azimuth angle rotation, beta is equal to theta z and gamma is equal to 0. These that means from 3 to 6, this is a single axis tracking system. The last one, 7th, is the 2-axis tracking system. You may see the 2-axis tracking system, the resultant incidence angle is always 0. In all the seasons, that's winter, summer, and all the seasons, you can see the minimum as well as this maximum incidence angle is always 0. That means perfect tracking condition we can reach using this 2-axis tracking system. Maybe practically some error may come, it's 0.1 degree or 0.2 degree error may come because of the maybe error in the gear or mechanism systems. Whereas a single axis tracking system, we can't reach a 0 incidence angle because the single axis tracking system is suitable only for the linear concentrating collector, not for the point concentrating collector. With the point focus concentrating collector, it always demands the 2-axis tracking system because the incidence angle is always 0 from sunrise to sunset as well as all the seasonal changes. Okay, I will show the sun path diagram. Before showing the sun path diagram, the meaning of sun path diagram is we can trace the spots, sunbeam spot on the ground. As you can see here, I am showing this line. The center line shows the solar noon, and this is sunrise time. Right hand side is showing as sunrise time as per the convent in the east side, and left hand side is the west is showing this is the sunset time. So, and depending upon the seasonal changes, starting from January to December, only one day only shown here because if I am plotting all 365 days, it is you can't see the lines. That's why representative day only shown here. Representative day means, for example, January 21st. It is a representation of entire month of January, February, March till December 21st. So here, this is the path of the sunspot. I can say the sunbeam is falling on this ground in this location, in this quadrant during this month of December, during the winter season. Again, during this month of, let me take the month of May. May, you can see in the north side, the sunspot is coming. So the northern sphere is moving the one sphere to another sphere, and also this path will change. The curvature will change depending upon the location. If I am changing the location, this curvature also will change. That's why I am showing one sunpath diagram. This is drawn to scale. This sunpath drawing is prepared at the poles at 0 degrees latitude. You can see the exactly at the center point. The locator is at the center point. This is your location. How these angles are defined? One is azimuth angle. Second is a zenith angle. Azimuth angle is, I can say, this is a horizontal angle. Zenith is a vertical angle. Vertical angle to the sunbeam. So the sunbeam we are defining with two angles. One is azimuth angle, second is the zenith angle. Even tracking also, the two axis tracking we are calling as zenith axis tracking and azimuth axis tracking system. Even the field of electronics also they have radar system. Even heat transfer, radiation also they will use this terminology, that is a two axis zenith axis as well as azimuth axis system. In this solar energy also we are using the same terminology to locate the point, that is the sunpath diagram. See, that is east and this is the west. How time is showing here? The time has been showing from the morning to evening. You can see the lines here, and also dates also shown here. There are each month one day has been selected here, January to December. And time is showing here 6, 7, 8, 9 up to 12. These are all our solar times, because all the calculations we have to make based on the solar time, but not of the standard time, watch time or the standard time, because solar time is the reference time. But as per our convent, we can convert the solar time into the watch time or watch time to the solar time, because due to usage of this time. But I am showing for clarity or symmetricity, to show the symmetricity, I am representing the time as a solar time scale. So 6 to 6, that means 6 AM to 6 PM it is showing here. Since the location is exactly at the pole, you can see the symmetrical shape of the sunpath diagram. If the location is changed, let us say the sunpath diagram is prepared at 5 degrees, latitude. It is very close to the 5 degrees latitude, very close to the equator. What we are seeing here, there is a one particular point or one particular day, they can feel the zero zenith angle. This zero zenith angle is coming two times, because we are moving from January to June, again June to December. This is the 6 months, from here to here, this is a 6 months duration. From top to bottom, it is a 6 months duration. For the total period of 1 year, two times the observer can feel, two times he can feel the zero zenith angle. When zero zenith angle will come? The zero zenith angle will come in the noon time, exactly solar noon time. And you can also see the azimuth angles, the 0, -10, -10. These are the sign conventions. In the direction of circle, it is showing here. And zenith angle also showing here. That's one in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 like this. And this latitude is changed for 10 degrees, 15 degrees, 20, 25. Now you can see the difference between 20 degrees sunpath diagram and 25 degrees sunpath diagram. In 20 degree sunpath diagram, it is the center point is passing through the complete sunpath diagram, whereas here 25 degrees it is away from the sunpath diagram. That means there is no any zero zenith position. Here clearly you can see in like Punjab, that place of Jalandhar 31 degrees, clearly you can see there is no any zero zenith angle. Close to zero you can see here maybe 5 degrees or 10 degrees, and one particular time maybe month of June, zero zenith is coming here. Very close to zero zenith, not exactly zero zenith, because this 23 above 23.5 degrees. And you can see the zero zenith is moving away from zero here from 35 degrees, 40, 45, 50, 55, 70, 85, 90. Now it's pole. You can't see any sun path diagram at these poles, because the poles is extreme points. They both the north pole as well as the south pole. These extreme points. That's why you can't see the sun path diagram. Now one application in the first slide I showed the location, finding the location. This is a one problem I designed for the student examination. Let me read this problem. A minister is kidnapped in India and kidnappers are collected his cell phone. Nowadays all smartphones are giving the location, sharing the location. That's why they collected his cell phone in a secret place, and he has a watch showing the date and time. The date is 25th May. To identify his location, he observed the minimum length of his shadow on the flat ground at 0.16 meters at 12:10 p.m. At 12:10 p.m. is the solar noon in this problem. His actual height is 1.55 meter. His shadow angle with south is 14 degrees at the instant of minimum shadow. Investigate his location using the solar geometry. Now the person, he don't have any phone to convey his information. That means the information means that is a place information. But he is able to identify the location by observing the sun motion. In the olden days, they might be designed all the times, etc., including the geography. What he made from sunrise morning to evening, the minimum shadow length. He identified the minimum shadow. The first is the minimum shadow length, and corresponding time 12:10 is the corresponding time. That is the solar point of the solar noon. That significantly is its center point. And he also calculated the angle between his shadow to the south line. Then this is only given information. Is it possible to identify or investigate his location? How to define the location? That means latitude and longitude is required. In Google Map also, if you are defining the latitude and longitude, immediately you can trace the point, that is, this is a location. So we can apply this solar geometry. I am not going to explain any mathematical models or equations here. You can apply the solar geometry. After calculation, the model is resulting the latitude and longitude. Latitude is 26.81 degrees and longitude is 79.20 degrees. Immediately by feeding these two angles, you can get you can trace the location. That is it is UP, Etawah is UP in India. So it is easy to trace the position. So this is one of the applications using the solar geometry. We can able to trace the position by observing the sun-earth relations. The second application of this solar geometry is estimation of the solar radiation. How to estimate the solar radiation? What are the different models available here? The first one is the instantaneous solar radiation. The meaning of instantaneous means exactly at this point of time. At this point of time, I am able to define. Now the time is 3:38. At this time, what is the radiation? How much radiation we can receive at particular location? The location also defined here. So there is existing models are AB models are available. The two constant ABC model. This is the ABC models are available. Then using these three constants. These three constants are defined for each and every month, January to December. So by substituting these corresponding constants in this equation, then we can calculate this beam radiation and global radiation. This is the existing model. But the problem associated with this existing model is, since the constants are this curve fitting equation, this curve fitting equation is almost linear, and only 3 constants are there. Error is more, nearly 10% or more than 10% of the error is coming. So this existing model has been revised by means of this proposed model. In this proposed model, how many coefficients has been considered here? This is a non-linear equation. In this non-linear equation, the 9 coefficients has been considered: A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. What the meaning of S and S max is, this is the day length, S is the day length, that is maximum day length and the actual day length. The maximum day length we can calculate using the solar geometry, that is the difference between sunrise, the duration between the sunrise and the sunset. But actual day length is different, because once there is a cloudy time, after detecting the cloudy and other conditions, non-sunny conditions, the actual sunny conditions, the time only we have to consider, that is the actual day length. The ratio between the actual day length and maximum day length has been considered as one of the parameters to estimate the solar radiation. These parameters can be changed, maybe rainfall, maybe other atmospheric conditions can be changed in this model. So see, in this model, how many coefficients has been considered? These coefficients are considered for all the months, January to December, all the months has been considered. And the global radiation, these nine coefficients are different. For beam radiation, these 9 coefficients are different. Earlier coefficients are very limited, that is from January to December, the 3 coefficients are defined, whereas here these coefficients are different for each and every month, as well as this global radiation and beam radiation, and number of coefficients also increased in this model. So since the accuracy of the mathematical equation has been increased by increasing the number of coefficients in the curve fitting equation, there is a close match between the observed solar data and estimated solar data has been observed here. And next model is a monthly average daily radiation. In the monthly average daily radiation using the solar geometry, the existing model, in the existing model, there are 2 constants has been used here to estimate the monthly average daily global radiation. This Hg is indicates the total energy, global energy out of this reference energy. For each and every, some cities, some selected cities, AB constant has been defined, but here these constants are not defined with reference to the months. The only 2 constants and number of coefficients are very limited here. So again, the model has been refined here by non-linear equation. That is here, this is a non-linear equation. In this non-linear equations, the constants are ABC, and these constants also defined with reference to the month January to December. These constants are changing. For global radiation and beam radiation, these constants are changed here. So after applying the existing model and developed model, you can see the error. The first column shows the measurement for January to December, and now predicted from the literature. This is the existing model. Existing model is resulting nearly maximum 22% of efficiency, 22% of the error, at the minimum level of 6% error and minus 2.7% error. Whereas the predicted model, after applying this predicted model, the error is very close to 0. In fact, these models, actually, if this model is exactly taken for 1 year data, the entire 1 year data can be stored in a single equations. As it is, we can retrace the same data. That means, for example, for 1 year, the solar radiation data is thousands of lines. All thousands of lines can be stored in a single line. I also surprised by storing entire thousands of lines in a single line of equation, mathematical equation, we are able to retrace the same value. Only error is the rounding error is coming. That number is the rounding error only is coming. But to prescribe any mathematical model to predict any solar radiation, maybe instantaneous radiation or the monthly radiation, at least 10 years data we have to select. If you are selecting the 10 years data, the error value will change. But because of the more number of coefficients compared to the existing model, the accuracy will increase. Here this comparison of this old model and the predicted model as per the current model, both the global radiation and beam radiation has been compared here, and the old model is resulting more amount of error compared to the current model. That is one reason is number of coefficients has been increased, and also mathematical model is switched from linear model to the non-linear model. Okay, next third point is a tracking unit. Okay, this solar geometry we applied for assessment of the solar radiation and some predictions, etc. Then the geometry point of view, the product development, how to develop some collector system, especially the solar tracking unit using the solar geometry is, the first point is power free tracking system. In power free drive for the solar collector, what we have to use, it's we have to supply energy, but in place of we are not using any battery or electricity, okay, fine, but without supplying some energy we can't drive one object. We are able to drive means that becomes the perpetual motion mission. In thermodynamics, perpetual motion missions are defined. Perpetual motion mission means without supplying energy you are creating the energy. That violates the laws of thermodynamics. That means if it is violating the first law of thermodynamics, that we are calling as perpetual motion mission, PMM1. It is violating second law, that's PMM2. So it is not the perpetual motion mission. We are supplying the energy, but in a different form. Maybe it is a kinetic energy, or maybe the storage energy like spring. Naturally it is created, some natural source of energy has been stored here. That gravity also, that dead weight also may be stored like the potential energy. Those energies are used here. As per I mentioned, the perpetual motion mission, see this the funny figure is showing here. There is one vehicle. In front of the vehicle, the magnet is hanging. The magnet, since the vehicle is in iron, there is iron piece is there. If it is attracting, without use of petrol or diesel, he can drive the vehicle using this magnetic force. But he can't do like this. Why he can't do like this? Because it becomes a perpetual motion mission. There is no any energy from external side is supplied here, so it becomes a perpetual motion mission. But while seeing a solar tracking unit, especially the passive solar tracking mechanism, it looks like a magic. Magic means we are not supplying any electricity, but energy stored, that is internally energy stored here, maybe kinetic form or potential form, slowly it is releasing. Since that is the internal part, we can't see, that's like a completely covered inside the tracking mechanism. It looks like a perpetual motion mission. So some basic steps involved in this product making or product development cycle. First of all, what I am showing is idea of development of passive tracking system. In this passive tracking system, the basic steps involved are starting from the idea, define the need for this product development, because there is a need, because the active tracking system is demanding more amount of electricity. That's why there is a new need to develop this type of power free tracking system so that overall efficiency can be increased. And then we have to cross check whether there is a probability of success is there or not. The probability of success is there, it is giving the probability, then we can proceed for further steps of market analysis and some engineering works like product modeling, simulation, analysis, optimization, etc. The fifth activity is more important for the engineers. After completion of all these planning activities, next is execution, that is the manufacturing. But before going to the manufacturing activity, again we have to cross check practically whether the idea is feasible or not. Okay, our idea is to drive a solar collector without using electricity. It is fine, looks nice. There is a need also is there, because that's improves the overall efficiency of the collecting system. But practically, whether it is feasible or not, that also we have to cross check. If it is practically feasible, then only we can go for further steps like making drawings, fabrication, manufacturing. And during this journey, always we will get some feedback from the market or feedback from the customers and industry manufacturers. Based on the feedback, the idea can be refined using the R&D department, or maybe new idea also may be redesigned based on the feedback coming in the product cycle. Obviously, some computational tools is required from the imagination to the reality. With the help of these computational tools like CFD or some mathematical tools using MATLAB, FANSYS, etc., we can visualize the actual working instead of before going directly jumping into the manufacturing and testing in the laboratory. Virtually we can imagine the working and results of this entire product, that is the tracking product, so that we can get some confidence. Yes, this much error, the tracking error we can resolve using this mathematical model. So once we are going implementing in the workshop, we can get less amount of error. And this is the basic motivation we got to develop this tracking, this type of tracking. We have 9 kilowatt solar machine at our earlier university. This is 9 kilowatt Stirling engine. The Stirling engine is working with the working fluid of the helium. See the cycle, Stirling cycle. Another side, this is the engine. The two engines or pistons are working here. So the heating engine is heated by focus, solar energy is focused at this focal point. Another side of this engine is the heat rejection. This is the condenser, water cooled condenser. Unfortunately, this water cooled condenser, after some time, after 6 months, it is corroded and water has been leaked, and gradually the engine has been corroded. That means helium also it is leaked. Slowly helium is coming out. So whatever the output from the Stirling engine, initially in the beginning it is 9 kilowatts. Slowly the output is deteriorating. That's 8 kilowatts, 7 like this. And one particular instant of time, the power generation is equal to the power input to track the collector. You can see the massive collector. It's a very big collector. There are two motors here. This is a 2-axis tracking system, azimuth axis tracking and zenith axis tracking. To drive these two motors, electricity is required. The generation and supply both are same. Then what is the efficiency of the Stirling engine? 0, because the generation is equal to the supply for the tracking. And after that, it is moving towards the negative energy. The meaning of negative energy is whatever the energy we supply to track the collector, that is azimuth angle tracking and zenith angle tracking, is more than the power output from the Stirling engine. So these are the issues, I can say the challenges in running the solar thermal systems using these active drive systems. So immediately then we flash the system, we can start or initiate with the development of this passive drive with a reasonable accuracy. So with a reasonable accuracy, there are plenty of problems or challenges associated in the solar thermal system, but we identified in this work, we identified the power requirement of the tracking. Out of this power requirement of the tracking, to address this issue, the solution is the power free tracking method. And this is also one of the area development of the collecting geometry, collecting yesterday Srinivas Reddy highlighted one geometry. The elliptical shape has been integrated with the parabolic shape. So we are existing models are majority of the concentrating collectors are parabolic shape, and scapular reflector is using elliptical shape. In compound parabolic collector, you can see the last diagram where we are using this passive tracking system. There are 3 parabolas has been integrated together. Left hand side parabola is different, this book, and right hand side is different, and bottom one more small parabola is there. These 3 parabolas are combined together to make multi-reflector compound parabolic collector. So that the receiver, we see the yellow circle, the receiver always shined, receiving the sunbeams in all 360 degrees, because as per the geometry. because our tracking is passive tracking system. In passive tracking system, we should not match with the existing collecting system like concentrating collectors, parabolic concentrating collectors. So what happens, parabolic linear concentrating collectors demands more accurate tracking mechanism, whereas the compound parabolic collector or multi-reflector compound parabolic collector requires less accuracy. Even 1 degree error it won't mind. There is no much problem associated with the compound parabolic collector. For example, let me take the example of mechanical example. There is a bolt and nut. The bolt is redesigned by changing the pitch or some geometry to get the more compact. Then nut also has to be redesigned to get the good pair. Similarly, here also the tracking has been redesigned from the active mode to the passive mode. Obviously, the collector also we have to redesign to suit the passive driving, passive tracking drive. The collector also has been redesigned. In place of the parabolic collector, we place the multi-reflector compound parabolic collector. These are the some of the varieties of passive tracking drives using different mechanisms. The first one shows the simple pendulum with gravity assisted. The tracking is gravity, the dead weight is used here. The dead weight is connected to this simple pendulum mechanism so that a big scuffler reflector has been moved. You can see the scuffler reflector here in this drawing. The scuffler reflector is moving from one point to the other point. Or bimetallic sticks. Bimetallic sticks also we can use. This is another. Bimetallic sticks also we can use to develop this type of passive tracking system, because bimetallic stick, due to the difference in linear coefficient, that is the thermal expansion, some deviation will come. That deviation can be transferred to the collector so that collector will change. Our dripping action, this is dripping action also almost gravity based, like pendulum mechanism, gravity assisted mechanism. The potential energy is transferred by means of change in weight, that is driving this solar cooker. You can see the box type solar cooker, it is moving from one point to the other point. In 1 minute, let me show this scuffler reflector. I already shown scuffler reflector. What is the role of the design of this scuffler reflector with reference to the tracking mechanism, that is the sun-earth geometry? So I am giving some angle, let us say 30 degrees close to the Punjab. The day length, the day is changed here. We have January 1 is represented as 1, and 2, the day number 2, day number 3, up till 365 days. So this collector, you can see this is the collector, scuffler, red color shows the scuffler reflector. This point is fixed point, so that it can be suitable to the solar cooking system. From bottom to top it is moving. This duration is 6 months. Again from top position to the bottom position it is coming back another 6 months of the duration. So the imagination of this using this computational tool is, we can plan the place. That means once the collector is moving from one point to the other point, we have to imagine all the days, January to December, all the days we have to imagine, so that how much place, surrounding place we have to reserve for easy movement without any obstructions. The easy movement of this collector we can plan. That is one of the point. We can also see the pink color line. The pink color line is moving like a umbrella. Umbrella is opening and umbrella is closing. So that sort of flexibility has been provided for this scuffler reflector. If the flexibility is given to the scuffler reflector, this reflector is a glass. This reflective pieces are there. There may be sheet type or glass type. We use the glass type of reflector. Then you will get the doubt. If you are using the segmented glass for the reflector, whether it is breaking. Because of this flexibility, the glass may break due to this curvature is changing, the radius of the curvature is changing, then immediately the glass may break because of the brittle in nature. But what type of glass we use? This is the flexible glass we use. We brought this glass from the Rajkot, Gujarat. So you can bend. It's a small curvature. You can see the small curvature, so that without any breaking of this glass, you can fix to the scupular reflector. And this view of this scupular reflector is elliptical shape. See, actually straight line I am showing. The straight line, if you see in this direction, this is the elliptical shape. And this side view, the shape of this curvature is the parabola. So the parabola and ellipse both are integrated together, so that this is a scupular reflector. And yesterday presentation also, elliptical shape has been integrated with the hyperbolic shape to get a new invention. I am going to ask a small question as per our discussion the solar geometry. This is Summit relations I am showing. There is one inclined surface. This inclined surface having an angle of tilt angle is beta, and this vertical line shows the zenith position. And green line shows the normal to the inclined surface. The green line is the normal to the inclined surface. The red line is the sunbeam. Now our motto is to minimize the incidence angle. The theta is the incidence angle. If the same theta is defined to the vertical line, that is horizontal with reference to the horizontal surface, then this is called as zenith angle, theta z. Theta is equal to theta z for the special case. So incidence angle is a zenith is a special type of incidence angle. Now my question is, we have 2 degrees of freedom. That means, as per my earlier discussion, there are 5 variables. First 3 variables we can't change, that is the date, time and place we can't change. Last 2 variables, that is beta and gamma, only we can change. That's vertical angle, horizontal angle, zenith angle, azimuth angle we can change. Zenith angle is the beta, azimuth angle is the gamma. Okay, to match the green line and red line so that theta becomes 0. How to make this theta is equal to 0? With 2 conditions. One is change in the beta, second is change in the gamma. What gamma? Is it solar azimuth or surface azimuth? Surface azimuth I am saying. Solar azimuth we can't change. The sun position we can't change. Only surface only we can tilt. So the surface we can tilt in this horizontal direction and also vertical direction. Now any participants, could you explain these 2 conditions to get theta is equal to 0? Beta and gamma. The first condition is beta.
It is possible only when beta becomes theta z, that is zenith angle tracking, and gamma becomes gamma z, gamma s, solar angle. Surface azimuth angle becomes the solar azimuth angle. By doing like this, it would becomes a dual axis. In that case, you can get it, theta becomes 0. Thank you very much.
By means of this visualization, the beta is equal theta z, that is equal to the zenith. We will get some closeness to the incidence angle. Similarly, these are 2 gammas. One is with reference to the solar system, solar sunbeam, and second is with reference to the surface. If both are equal, that is gamma is equal to gamma s and beta is equal to theta z, obviously the green line and red line both will be the same. Now you can see the closeness between this between the sunbeam and normal to the surface. So this position is called as perfect tracking position. For point focus concentrating collector, we have to maintain continuously this condition. We have to maintain continuously, that is from sunrise to sunset. So that keeping in mind of these variations, we have to design the mechanism for the point focus concentrating collectors I am saying. Whereas for the line focus concentrating collectors, we can't make into 0. That's why mathematical models like maxima, minima, this is a minimization. So we can differentiate this function because the function having 5 variables. Out of these 5 variables, we can keep these 2 are the main primary variables, assuming others are constants. So by means of the differentiation, that is dy by dx or the differential function, we can get the mathematical simplified equations. Implementation of this mathematical minimization of function to the solar geometry, we can get the result for single axis tracking system that can be implemented in the development of the product, that's tracking mechanism, passive or active tracking mechanism. And one more important parameter required in the design of the solar tracking is the day length. The day length also changing from place to place. Now see the drawing. Since we are very close to the equator in South India, I am saying in South India the day length is very close to 12 hours. It's maybe slightly fluctuating, less than 12 hours or more than 12 hours. I am showing the entire year, starting from 1 to 365, that's January to December, how the day length is changing. And northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Let me see the northern hemisphere because we are in northern hemisphere, and latitude is a place is changing from 0 to 90 degrees. Place is changing from 0 to 90 degrees. The 90 degrees is the poles here and the equator to the poles. And this 90 is different. This is the southern hemisphere. Okay, let me take 10 degrees. This 10 degrees is here in the winter it is slightly below 12 hours. In summer, midpoint I am showing is maybe June, July approximately, it is about 12 hours. If you see some other place like Western country, US, Canada, etc., if I consider some other angle, let us say 50 degrees. In 50 degrees, what is the day length in winter? It is hardly 8 hours, 7 hours. And summer, see, I am seeing tracing the 50 degrees. In summer, it is more. It's almost more than 15 hours, 16 hours, 15 hours. These are the extreme conditions. If you study the 90 degrees, in the 90 degrees from here to here, from this point to this point, almost 6 months. 6 months is 24 hours. 24 hours. 24 hours is the day length. And another time, this is the 0. Day length is 0. In one case, this is 3 months and this is 3 months. So the 6 months is the day length is 0. That means completely night. And 6 months is the day length is 24 hours. That is a completely the sunbeam will come. So based on this location, that is a day length period, we can also design the tracking mechanism that so that when we have to start and how many hours it will work, that is 12 hours or more than 12 hours or less than 12 hours. But this 90 degrees or 80 degrees is extremely different. We can't operate this type of mechanism 6 months of duration continuously. So initially in the first step, this mechanism has been demonstrated at the primary level with the small solar PV panel. The solar PV panel has been tracked from sunrise to sunset using this by connecting this mechanism. Very simple, cost-effective mechanism has been given with the dripping action. So observations are showing the efficiency. Anyhow, obviously output and efficiency will increase because the culprit is always facing towards the sun, like sun power. But interestingly, that during sunrise time, sunset time, performance improvement is more. That is required actually. Anyhow, solar noon time, the performance is at the higher level. That means efficiency as well as output is more at the solar noon time. But the main issue is the solar sunrise time as well as the sunset time. These two issues have been addressed by adopting a small tracking mechanism in the PV panel. After that, in the second attempt, in the second level, in case of solar PV panel, a linear concentrating collector has been integrated so that I will show the workings of this linear solar concentrating collector, how it is running with reference to this mathematical. First, I am explaining the mathematical model working. Again, I am collecting the 30 degrees here. I am supplying. Sorry, this is different. I repeated this scuffler reflector. I have to go for this tracking. This anyhow this is also tracking, but this tracking is different compared to the what I am showing in this linear concentrating collector. This is a point focus concentrating collector. Scuffler is a German scientist. That's why this name of the collector is the scuffler reflector. And I am showing this tracking, how the collector is moving from sunrise to sunset. Yeah, see, this is the position of the collector, compound parabolic collector, east position. That's sunrise time. Slowly the collector is moving from sunrise position to the noon time, and correspondingly the angle of this collector, multi-reflector compound parabolic collector, is changing the angle from 0 degrees. The angle is 0 degrees in the morning time. It's moving 90 degrees towards the solar noon time, and corresponding mechanical results like the engineering mechanics, the spring readings and the stiffness, the load in the spring and the load in the east side header, load in the west side header, reactions in the bearing, everything, the results of the engineering mechanics has been plotted in the last drawing. So in the after solar noon, the collector is moving towards the west side. That is from 90 degrees towards 0. You can see the position of the collector. This animation is showing the instantaneous position. At that instantaneous position, what is the angle of the collector and corresponding mechanical results. Mechanical results means it's not thermal result. Thermal means temperature, pressure, etc. In mechanical engineering mechanics, instead of energy balance, what we will see the force balance. We will apply the force balance and momentum. We will apply the momentum, so that how much reaction it is representing at each and every stage of rotation. So this the subject is completely different. That means strength of materials, the principles of design, bearings, springs, design of the springs, engineering mechanics, everything has been applied. That results is represented in the last figure, is representing the results of the engineering mechanics. So this is almost like a clubbing of different subjects like thermodynamics, heat transfer. In the receiver side, heat is transferred, that's energy interaction. Solar energy is converted into thermal energy, so that the principles of conduction, convection, radiation and the energy balance means thermodynamic relations is required. But once we are dealing the design of this mechanism, the subjects like strength of materials, springs, machine design, engineering mechanics, many subjects is dealing. So I can say this is an example of the entire mechanical engineering, not only thermal engineering. It is an example of entire, it is touching almost all, including the drawings. It's touching almost all the subjects in mechanical engineering. Yes, the parabola, hyperbola, all these things, engineering drawing, first year what we learned, the basic principles of engineering drawing, all has been implemented here. Now I am explaining the basic working principle of this linear concentrating collector integrated with the passive drive. There are two weights has been given here. These two weights are equal weight. In the mid position, this is the solar noon position. In solar noon position, what is the left hand side, right hand side, both are equal weight. That's why it is showing upright position. Vertically it is upright position. That is in the noon time, the collector is in the 90 degrees position to the horizontal, the angle measured to the horizontal. But in the solar sunrise time and sunset time, you can see the change in the weight. Left hand side, the weight position is always same. That means the first drawing, second drawing and third drawing, the quantity is same. It may be liquid or fluid or sand, whatever it may be the fluid here or the solid here, like a sand, we can keep it here. And another header only, there is a change in the mass. Initially it is 100% mass, and noon time it is 50% mass, and the last sunset time it's very close to 0% of the mass, maybe 5, some buffer is maintained here. So from sunrise to sunset continuously it is moving without any involvement of the observer. An operator, for example, an operator is coming in the early morning, that sunrise time. he has to switch on this dripping action so that the fluid is recycling for the next morning. Then he can forget about that one because it is running continuously till the sunset time without involvement of any either changing of the position like heat exchangers, parallel flow, counter flow, or maintenance of some observations. So it is running continuously. That is one of the advantages. Continuously it is moving as per the design. If the day length is designed for 13 hours, it will run for 13 hours. If the day length is designed for 10 hours or 11 hours, it will run for 10 or 11 hours depending upon the design. So for that, the flexibility has been provided here. You can see these are all our mechanical elements like starting from the bearings, springs, and chain drive. This wheels, sprocket wheels, and this is the collector of the mechanism, stand, etc. What flexibility has been given for this tracking wheel? This is the radius from the center of this bearing to center of the tracking wheel. This is the spring tracking wheel. This distance can be adjusted in the T-slot valve. So depend, for example, place is changed or season is changed, summer to winter. So to accommodate the change in the location or to accommodate the change in the time or the season, this eccentricity can be changed. So it has a flexibility. We can market this product at any place at any time. 365 days we can operate without any difficulty. That sort of flexibility has been designed in this mechanism. These are the bill of materials. I am not going to explain the specifications because you know mechanical engineer how to design a shaft, diameter of the shaft using the principles of mechanics. I am not going to explain those things. These are results of specifications for the engineering mechanics. And this is a fabricated drawing, and I am showing the right hand side. I am showing the drawing, corresponding drawing. This is the front view of this tracking mechanism, and also a small photo has been shown here. This is a photographic view, and this is a mechanism at 3 positions. And this is the mathematics. In the beginning, I showed one statement I made. The statement is a daughter can lift the father using the engineering mechanics principle. The weight of the father is obviously more than the small daughter, and maybe 5 years or 6 years. So how she can lift the father using this engineering mechanics? Here my example is the solar collector. What we use the solar collector is nearly 1000 kg. Yes, 1000 kg solar collector we fabricated with little efforts. Let us say 10 kg or 20 kg of weight. Only we apply effort. Only we applied. So that we are able to track. We demonstrated the time permits. I will show the videos also. We are able to track the collector from one position to the other position, from sunrise to the sunset, with a little amount of effort. How it is possible? The weight of the entire solar collector has been controlled by equal and opposite dead weight. That is the basic principle here. Initially, we forgot about this dead weight because I am not expert in this machine design. My expertization is in thermal engineering. That's why we neglected this dead weight. That's why initially we are able to track this collector for 1 hour duration. The second, after redesigning, we are able to track for 6 hours. Now we are continuously able to track this collector for 12 hours or slightly above or slightly below the 12 hours. Because of this feedback, experimental feedback, and also experience from the design as well as the operation. These are the mathematical equations. I am not going to explain the detailed background. The basic lines is here. One is the balance equations. Thermal engineering means you are well aware about the mass balance, energy balance, exergy balance. Here there is no exergy balance or energy balance. What we are doing? We are doing the force balance. Like left hand side, right hand side, and couples moment clockwise direction is balanced by anti-clockwise direction with reference to one particular reference point, let us say the bearing. So those things, you know, using this basics of engineering mechanics or machine design, those things are applied here. The final simplified equation is the variable weight. This variable weight can be controlled to meet the required position. What my expectations? the minimum incidence angle or zero incidence angle depending upon the linear concentrating collector or point focus concentrating collector to meet the requirement or objective, how to control this variable weight. That is the main challenge here. The mathematically it has been developed here and practically it is implemented. I am skipping some of the slides due to lack of the time. I will show the working, two types of working I am showing. One is mathematical working, that's students at NIT Jalandhar, they developed these mathematical models that's using some CAD principles, animations. You can see the collector is rotating from one position to the other position, that's the sunrise to sunset, using this mechanics. And see the mechanism also, the spring mechanism, collector has been connected, and this is mounted between two bearings and also two weights, the variable weights. You can't see the dripping action, that is not incorporated here, and bottom there is one dead weight is also added here. And type of the collector is compound parabolic collector. It is rotating smoothly using the theoretical concept of engineering mechanics principle and the applied momentum force balance, satisfying the force balance and movement balance equations. And practically how it is working, the same mathematical model has been implemented, it is fabricated, the collector has been fabricated and it is operating now. This is actually real time. Real time means you can't wait for 12 hours or 6 hours. So I am moving on fast track. You can't see any connections like battery connection, there is no any motor connection, there is no any electricity connection. Naturally it is running naturally, there is no any surroundings, you can't see any operator, there is no faculty, there is no any workers. It's running like isolated place, from one position to the another position it is moving. What we can see in this video, are you able to see the video?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In the mechanism, you can see the wheel, sprocket wheel, and those things. This magnetic measurement, how to measure the angle, magnetic protractor, the dead weight, this protractor is a dead weight, variable weight. This is the collector, compound parabolic collector, bottom one parabolic collector, small parabolic collector, left and right two parabolic collector. So this is a, with respect to this tracking, we are using this tracking drive, we are able to drive the collector without using any electricity. That I want to show things. So the main highlights of this product making is the first one is operator attention. At the beginning only it is required, so that the continuous monitoring or maintenance is not required for this operation of this product. And we face one problem during this operation of this video. Sometimes if it is windy, as small vibration, you can see the small vibrations. That time we didn't added the damping. Now we included the oil damping, hydraulic damping, like suspension. So after adding this hydraulic damping, that vibrations also we arrested. We are able to arrest it because sometimes windy period, the vibrations creates the disturbance to the tracking or collecting system. And the accuracy, coming to the accuracy, up to 1 degree error we can get, that is the error, tracking error I am saying, that 1 degree error is not the big issue with the compound parabolic collector. And this is feasible as per my product cycle, whether it is practically feasible or not. Feasibility, we proved the feasibility by means of this design as well as the demonstration. There are plenty of applications in Punjab, the atmospheric conditions are different. Now we are using oil heater for room heaters. Mostly, majority of the cases in Punjab, in winter, we are using electricity to for room heaters. This maybe directly the heaters, electrical heaters can be used, or maybe oil can be used so that it will radiate the heat to the entire building. But we are incorporating some solar air heating systems, maybe flat pay collector or linear concentrating collector or point concentrating collector, using this type of mechanism so that electricity consumption can be decreased by means of hybridization with the solar energy with the backup of this electricity. There are plenty of applications like agriculture applications, what we studied agriculture university. There are plenty of solar dryer and space heating, space cooling, plenty of applications are available. These are the mathematical study I am skipping, and this mathematical study is also compared with experimental to match whether how much error, to identify the error. You can see the tracking error, we are defining the deviation between the incidence angle, hypothetical incidence angle, and the actual position of the concentrating collector. That is the deviation. These deviations are within 1 degree limit. And straight away I'm showing this 2-axis tracking system. So with the convenience of single-axis tracking system, we devise the 2-axis system. That's this is also passive drive. What type of collector? Again the same collector. That's a compound parabolic collector, but this is the point focused collector. Earlier drawing is a linear concentrating collector, compound parabolic collector. This is the point focused multi-reflector compound parabolic collector. Once sunbeam is entering into the dish, it can't escape outside. That is the advantage of this type of bowl. And the type of tracking is, this is a dual axis tracking. The weight of this collector is I can say this is a 1 ton weight. The weight is 1 ton. Really it is a we did this operation with the passive drive. At the bottom you can see the passive drive, a small weight on small efforts only. With the small efforts we are able to track this 100 kg of 1000 kg of collector using this tracking mechanism. In this tracking mechanism you can also see the suspension system. This is the hydraulic suspension system, that is automobile two-wheeler suspension as it is. This has been assembled here. After adding the suspension, hydraulic suspension, we saw that the collector movement in a smooth way without any vibrations or oscillation caused by the wind. This is our observation. Without suspension, without hydraulic suspension and with hydraulic suspension. See, without damping, how the vibrations are coming. After damping, with that means with oil or some hydraulic system, there is no much vibrations observed in the second case. And what these all designs are applied for the patent and also waiting for the examination currently. Our main claim in this patent is the mechanism, not the collector or not other elements. The main element is a mechanism, that's mechanical devices. Thank you. Let me conclude the advantage of the study of solar geometry. The first point is we can select the best one, that is the best method of solar tracking system for periodically or seasonally or daily or continuously or intermittent, whatever it may be the case, or maybe single axis or double axis. As per the case or as per the application, we can select the best method. And we can predict the refined model of solar radiation predictions using the solar geometry. And some devices like tracking also we can make as a product, like an example of product making, and process conditions can be optimized. That means the flow rate in case of the tripping action and the minimum tracking load, because the final goal is whatever the tracking is, the tracking load should be minimized. The tracking load is heavy, the total collecting load will increase and this becomes too massive. Already collector is massive and the dead weight is also too high, then the total weight of the entire system will increase. That's why as an engineer what we have to do, we can go for the optimization of this entire system, tracking load, etc. So that the two objectives, one is the minimum tracking error as well as the minimum weight we can reach after applying this the design models, like using the engineering mechanics principle by changing the eccentricity or by changing the mechanical principles. We recommended the conditions, the process conditions, that is the radius, and finally the results also we showed the tracking error. We are able to predict as well as we are able to experiment on these systems. Actually, that the big collector is we fabricated using this funding support from the central government SCRB funding support. That is 1 ton of weight collector. That's entire design. We made the drawings, the compound parabolic drawings as per the given drawings that fabricated people made the shape. Thank you, and once again sorry for delay and in the beginning of the lecture. Now it is the time for interaction, and I'm pleasure to address your doubts and questions now.
Sir, is it developed in in-house or some third-party agency?
This is actually 1 minute. Let me. Yeah. This is designed and fabricated. We didn't purchase any items here. All are designed at institute level, and we gave the drawings. The bill of material I showed, that's wheel drawings, and we collected some items like bearings, etc. But stand, fabrication, everything we made at the institute level only, including collector. I am saying collector, skeleton, the linear concentrating collector, and compound point, including point focus concentrating collectors. Design and fabricated.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any else? Is my voice is audible?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it's quite audible.
Initially, some internet problem came actually. Because of the internet problem, what I did is I restarted my system. That's why it is delayed. Restarted my system. That's why it is delayed.
Sir, good evening, sir. This is Dr. Pawan Jagdish Kumar from Visakhapatnam.
Good evening, Mohan.
Sir, actually, how simple we can measure the solar radiation, sir? Actually, in market, we are purchasing one solar meter, a very simple instrument, but it is giving the direct radiation. But in your experience, what is the right equipment to measure the solar radiation on such type of experiments, sir?
So whatever you are saying, the instruments, it is not very accurate instruments. It will give
yes, sir.
Error. I also saw some students are using that gives more error. But accurate measurements means we have to use the standard instruments, the pyranometer, perheliometer. Actually, Germany made some companies are supplying the instruments, but that is too costly. I can say 3 lakhs rupees one instrument. I'm saying shaded ring means almost is 5 lakhs rupees, but it's very highly accurate and sophisticated instruments. And also you can also connect to your laptop. What are the in India stations, all the stations, it is complete, they are using sophisticated instruments, and you can also see in the internet with login password and those details. The government people only can access those data. We can read any place using the internet access.
Okay.
But what we are saying, the instrument is that won't give the correct information.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's I can say more than 5% error. That's not
yes,
reliable. That's in my opinion, that they are not reliable.
Okay, professor. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, sir. I am Prithviraj sir speaking from Pillai College, New Panvel, Maharashtra. So I am currently a professor in the engineering college, and I am doing the research on my solar tracker. So I want to ask one question regarding, in market, 2 types of generally the pyranometers are available. One is the silicon type and one is the thermopile type. So the sensitivity and the accuracy of each silicon and the thermopile pyranometer type is bit different, and they are costly also. If we go to the thermopile pyranometer, because the range will vary from 0 to 3000 or 0 to more than that watt per meter square. So for PhD research purpose work, the silicon pyranometer will work, or we need to go for the thermopile, because cost wise also both pyranometers are far apart, accuracy wise also they are set far apart. So what will be better according to you, sir? Whether I should go for thermopile or silicon type?
We are using silicon type instruments. Silicon type instruments. The accuracy, that's a working principle. The parameter silicon type working principle is different. Basic working principle is different, and because this is again, whatever the thermal effect is converting to the electronic signals. It's a millivolts. This converting to the millivolts in the instrumentation, but that is a maximum knowledge of instrumentation department. In instrumentation, that signals are converted into the millivolts. And that millivolts again we are reconverting into the watt per meter square.
Right, sir.
Okay, the basic working principle, what you told the silicon, etc., the basic working principle should be very accurate. But we are using silicon, but we are getting very low amount of error, very high accuracy readings.
Okay, sir. And one more question, sir. I have used the particular pyranometer. I have used the what you can say the microcontroller board to log the data, and I am analyzing the data. So what should be my strategy to validate those particular results? Whatever are the results that I am getting, how I can validate?
Yeah, the supplier, every year we have to go for this error checking, so that if you are giving the supplier, they will give the error for each and every instrument. So that in your error analysis, you can count those error plus or they will give, let us say, one temperature plus or minus 0.01 degrees centigrade. So after that standardization, that error can be, you may incorporate, so that you can, after adding this error analysis, you can expect some reliable results from your experimentation. That my point. That you can collect from the manufacturer.
So it is my research project, sir. It is my PhD research project that I have built.
Yes.
Just how I can validate the outcome. So I might get the outcome as the particular, say the theta. I might get the position of the particular my tracking panel with respect to sun rays. So if I am saying that my panel is exactly perpendicular to the sun ray, that means the sun ray is being exactly coinciding at the center plane, of that particular, the center portion of the panel. So by how I can say validate that particular thing, sir?
Okay. I think you are asking about the experimental setup, not the instrument setup.
Right, sir. Experimental setup I have built.
About the experimental setup, the error I showed in my presentation, one is hypothetical position. Hypothetical position is ideal position. Okay, in that ideal position, the face is exactly towards the sun. We know that the ideal position exactly.
Right,
But how to reach this ideal position experimentally? The actual position we can take by means of magnetic protractor or maybe shadow, whatever the instruments we have. The actual position we can take from your observations in the laboratory, indoor system or outdoor system, and compare your actual position with the ideal position. That's my point.
Right, sir. I got your answer, sir.
But do you know how to find the ideal position?
Ideal position in the sense that means with help of mathematical formula can we?
Yes, correct. Solar geometry.
Right,
the solar
sir.
geometry results the ideal position. Yeah.
So whatever are the formulas that are being given in the book?
Any refer some books?
Any solar book?
Sukatni, Dr. Goswami.
Okay, sir. That means if I can, the validation will be enough. No, that means whatever the formula that have been validated in book with help of the experimentation result.
Yes. And also, I will recommend. One point. Not only the validation, for more accuracy, add some error analysis, because manufacturer will give the error in each and every instrument, temperature, angle, whatever it may be. Also include that error analysis, you will get more reliable data.
Okay, fine, sir.
In addition to the validation, take one more step, extra step.
Okay, error analysis extra. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, one little clarification. As suggested, as shown in the models, that auto tracking system. So this variation of the sun projection for the maximum concentration of the rays, does it vary from location to location, sir?
Yeah, it will change. Location to location, it will change.
So how to obtain the pre-recorded all the data available, or we have to generate
Yes,
from some software?
No, it's in active system. With reference to the active system, I am saying there is a GPS system, global position system. And the GPS system, even though it is costly, we can get the exact position of sunbeam. The GPS position will give the exact position based on the feedback, because this is electronic circuits can be integrated to these mechanical systems. Based on the feedback coming from the GPS, it can be adjusted. The signals can be adjusted so that it will the direction will change according to
G,
that.
that's good. That's good. But any
Direction will
particular,
change.
but any as a engineer during designing, any specific knowledge required by the person to ensure some correctness of the data, something like that.
Yeah. Actually, we earlier what I showed, the big scapular, big reflector. What is that one? A point solar Stirling engine. That we use the active tracking with sophisticated GPS system. It's completely electronic circuits. That's full of electronic circuits. And
Okay. And one more, sir. What are the
Zenith
major? What are the major angles to recognize them? Which
two
are
angles.
the major part? Just wanted to have certain basic information. जो
Zenith and
major
yes. These two are the major, zenith and azimuth.
जेनिथ. ओके सर, इसको थोड़ा और क्लियर कर देंगे सर, थोड़ा सा जेनिथ.
Zenith means it is the zenith is a vertical. See, for example, a sphere. In a sphere, how we are defining a point, one particular point in polar axis system, I am saying.
Okay.
Let us say a point in a fruit, a small piece on a fruit, watermelon. The coordinates are defining the coordinates. Similarly, in solar geometry, it's also like a sphere, hemisphere, I can say. That point can be defined by horizontal angle and vertical angle. Horizontal angle, what we are seeing on plan, what we are calling that as azimuth angle. In the front view, vertical, what we are seeing is a zenith angle.
जी sir.
These two angles are defining the position of the solar collector.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So kind of you. Thank you.
So my today lecture is covered the solar geometry and the sunnet positions and some practical applications in mechanical engineering.
So, sir, today also we will receive that YouTube link.
Yeah, sure. That is material. Yesterday you asked me the material. I will share. Maybe evening I will share the feedback and the YouTube material, so that if something is missing, we can go. Dr. Natarajan wants to ask something. You raise the hand.
Yes, sir. I just want to ask one question related to the correction in the solar geometry. In that cases, that is the solar angle. You refined it, the solar constant value in terms of hour angle ratios only. That is that from linear to quadratic and cubical equation, more refinement you are done.
Radiation, yes.
What about this elevation? Elevation part is not being considered, na? Elevation of the location plays the role. If it considered that one, with more refinement we get it.
Yeah, no. One variable only it is considered. For example, if you are interested to, I mentioned in my presentation, some other variables also can be considered.
Okay. Sir, audio breaking.
Conditions, that's weather conditions will refine these things. As a mechanical engineer, we took the very major variables. If experts in atmospheric science, you can refine this mathematical model so that very high accuracy mathematical models will be developed. As you mentioned, elevation also we can do, but here this is single variable. Coefficients are 9. I explained 9 coefficients, but
Yes,
with function of single variable, S by S max only. But we can also refine with some other, adding some other variables. Complexity will increase, but accuracy also will increase.
Okay.
You proceed, I will recommend to proceed with some other variables.
Okay, sir. Fine, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.